Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Back at the usual time. Well, not necessarily the usual time, but I'm feeling good enough to do a live stream today, and I figured why the fuck not do it in the morning, because Bitcoin is actually moving right here, right now, and there's plenty to talk about. So I will actually resume the prior time that was before this time, basically your early American morning over there, and sort of like late afternoon for us in the Eastern European time zone. And with that said, with that said, let's get into the Krown Chain application, which we found at app.krownchain.net. I would also like to wish you the best, and the happiest. Let me just make sure that my microphone's working. It is working. Turn off the goddamn audio over here, and there we go. Lovely. And let's get into the Krown Chain application right now, because there is plenty to talk about right now. So really important here. We do see Bitcoin dominance coming down yet again, another 0.5%, and continuing the the trend here, as we do see the Bitcoin dominance essentially put in a major macro high and then also take out the major macro low as of last week or last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks, I believe it is. Yes. So that is going to, gonna be more or less good for altcoin Bitcoin pairings. As you can see across the board, we have a very interesting situation right now where Bitcoin is having one of those monstrous rallies, and what are altcoins doing? They're actually rallying with it, and they're actually outpacing on the whole Bitcoin as well, which is rather impressive. Now, is that indicative of a bit of a frothy market? Yeah, I do think so, but at the end of the day, if Bitcoin even is in its last leg of this massive parabolic rally, then that is going to be really the fun time, I suppose. So with that in mind, I always want to kind of come back to reality and say, hey, yes, I am still bullish here. Yes, I do think that Bitcoin still has some upside targets to go to, but let's make sure that we don't get fucking, caught out with our pants down on Mars, because at the end of the day, the market will very well likely at some point reverse, and it's going to be absolutely fucking, it's going to be absolutely brutal and violent and happen incredibly fast. But at least for now, still get to be bullish. And with that in mind, let's go check out the open interest right here. Big read on this one as well, as we do see it go up about almost 1 full billion from the last day and a half, 2 days, to where we're at right now. Now, of course, this was giving us the prior buys that underlying market dynamics were essentially suggesting a breakout, as we did see the open interest precipitate the actual price action, making new all-time highs alongside essentially a macro and basically all time frame trend to the upside as well. So very good underlying market dynamics right there, and that's why we were kind of calling it out for the past week. And then what do you know, actually resolved right around our weekday, right around the day that we were looking for as well. Sometimes that TA bullshit, sometimes that TA hocus pocus, it actually works, and fair enough, thank God for that. Anyways, looking at the top 10 best coins, top 10 worst coins, we see Dogecoin plus 50%, powerful Dogecoin, XRP up there 33% as well, EOS up 24.25%, and Bcash up 20.25% as well. So and even Bitcoin SV, Jesus Christ, man, like all the Bitcoin corollaries are up big time right now, almost another 20% on that one as well. So we are definitely seeing the junk rally right now, and that is making me a little bit more concerned on the other side that, hey, this portion of the parabolic rally, is this perhaps the last leg? I actually would argue probably yes, but again, do not mistake that as a signal that this is going to reverse today. No, I think that it probably continues to rally for a little bit more time. I do think that Bitcoin very likely does hit those deeper $6,000 targets. In fact, I really have no real reason to be bearish on anything in this market right now at this exact moment. So with that in mind, let's go over here. Let's go check out the fear and greed index at a 75 right now. Not anything too crazy, but again, Bitcoin taking out another $3,000, $4,000 since we last spoke yesterday. And what do you know? The market is not even getting like super greedy as you would expect. So I do still like all underlying market dynamics right now. For further upside. What's up, Mr. XRP Africa, Mr. Burnt Cream, and Mr. Crypto Darth Mark? Good to see you, fellas. Good to see you indeed. Hosea fam, there he is, another OG of OGs. But yeah, going into it right on over here. So again, I really want to highlight this, because this is one of the one of the better things about the Krown Chain application, is that it can actually show you this all in the same pane right here, where open interest was obviously making new all-time highs, not just yesterday, not just the day before, but the day before, or a couple days before that, on April 9th and 10th, we started to print new all-time highs on that. Again, price action had not necessarily made new all-time highs, but that was giving us a bias that, hey, this is looking like it wants to go pretty much right around now. That was going to be lined up with our volume signature and also our volatility signature, and also several momentum oscillator signatures as well that did suggest a resolution date sometime around the middle of this week, which we got essentially yesterday. So that you can kind of plot back if you have been watching these videos and keeping in tune with this content for the past few weeks. You can now see how that works over a greater amount of time period, and then you can apply that for yourself in the future. And I mean, it wasn't anything too sexy, obviously, and it did require a lot of patience. But at the end of the day, can you have a bit of patience when we're looking at, you know, a pretty decent rally already? I mean, this is nearly a 10% rally since that signature really started to perpetuate itself. Yeah, I'd say so, or at least I'd imagine most people could. On top of that, we do have, or do we have anything else to be looking at over here? Funny rate, we're actually going to be getting rid of, we're not going to get rid of FTX, but what we're going to do, I spoke with a developer yesterday. What we're going to do is we're going to make it so that the user, meaning you, can actually just tick off certain exchanges here if you want to. And for the time being, while FTX data feed is not really playing well, or for whatever reason, we'll just get rid of that, or you can, you know, obviously, just assign that for yourself, obviously. Anyways, all other major exchanges you can see are pretty much right around the 0.1% threshold. But again, you would expect to see this in a breakout situation, 2 new all-time highs, more or less. And it's really not until we get into the more crazy areas on this next rally, because I really do think that we are in that like last sort of parabolic blow off here. Although, again, make no mistake, I do think that Bitcoin has a lot more to go to the upside here, to be fair. Well, that's relative. For the people looking for $1 million within this next year, no, I don't think so. For the people looking for like 100,000, yeah, I do think so. Looking more and more likely here. Anyways, with that said, you know, we can see that they are creeping up on the whole, but still on an average scale, you can see that the average actually would be, excluding FTX, somewhere around about 0.075 actually. So not anything too crazy right there. And I really want to see it get to one of those more critical reads for 2 days at least before looking at that as an actionable sort of metric to be looking for a local high. As it stands right now, again, there's nothing at all whatsoever, in my opinion, about this chart that is currently bearish. So with that in mind, is there anything else that I want to point out here? I think that's about it. I think that we can get into, I should point out actually the liquidity zone. They are focused completely on traditional markets, and they're going to be covering the Coinbase IPO in massive detail today. So definitely check that out, as they are going to be the guys to go to for that, or at least those are the guys that I can kind of endorse for such things. I'm not going to be watching it, or I mean, I'm going to be watching it, but I'm going to not be trading it. So, you know, I'm not going to have any skin in the game is what I'm trying to say. What I would like to show you, however, is the trades that I did take yesterday, as I do have a nice testnet account. So I do want to follow up on that so we can get to that really, really quickly here. I actually did end up buying the breakout over here. Again, this is a testnet account. This is not real money. I want to be very, very specifically clear about this. This is not fucking real money. Okay. I don't have, you know, there's no actual skin in the game on these trades here. So I want to be very, 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 very open and honest about that. You know, also for legal reasons as well, because obviously, you know, as an American, you're not supposed to be trading on venues like this. But if it's a testnet account, that seems to be all good from the sources that I have consulted with. Anyways, looking at this right here, yeah, I bought 5 Bitcoin right around 60,250. Just basically based off of all the things that we spoke about yesterday. That position is doing rather nicely. And I also want to follow up on the options legs as well here. So yesterday I showed you these positions, and I was actually running at a pretty big loss. I mean, relatively speaking, obviously, pretty big loss on these option legs over here. But as we denoted, hey, these are just marks. And at the end of the day, you know, your contracts are either in the money or out of the money. And that means that they're either worth something or worth fucking nothing. It's always going to work like that. And in fact, they're only ever going to be worth parity anyways. So you can see now that negative P&L has actually switched around to a decently positive P&L, which I rather like. And I did add another leg onto this as well, as Bitcoin did break above the $61,000 resolution point on the short-term timeframes. I did short another 5 lot on the 59,000 strike puts right here, which is pretty much all premium. I think I sold them for 0.01, which I don't know, it's like what, $600 or so. Actually, let me see my actionable price here. I shorted them, 0.01 right there. And that is, well, that's more or less worthless right now. The reason why I picked this strike to kind of explain my position here is because it's below the breakout point. So if we were to go into a swing failure pattern right here, I could just essentially have a short stop loss right below the low of this baby right here, because that would essentially tell us that, hey, this breakout is going to essentially fail and run the other way rather quickly. We can start to target moves back down to the low $50,000 region. But again, is that what I'm necessarily looking for? No, that's why I picked that strike, because it gives me time to respond. And in this case, you know, if I'm able to short right here, if we take out yesterday's low, for example, 59,800, then I'd actually still be at a gain, to be fair, on that position, because I did short the $59,000 strike for not basically a total price of 0.05, or 0.05. Yeah, that would be correct. So Overall fine right there. These 62,000 call strike options, I do not want to be holding these. I might even actually consider selling them right now, but I will put in a sell order relatively soon. I do have the spread on, as you can see from the 72,500 strike right here, but that is, again, pretty much worthless as well. These are all marks right now, and again, at the end of the day, on Friday, they're either parity or they're nothing. And in this case, price action still has to rally another like $8,000 for those to be even in the money, and then of course premium on top of that as well. Not necessarily going to work out as like a legitimate spread. So what I'm going to end up doing is just selling these probably either later today or tomorrow, and go for the vol play, because that was a pretty nice pickup right there, to be fair. Anyways, again, this is just a testnet account right here. I don't want to act like this is real money. It is not real money. Just want to demonstrate a few ways of how to kind of trade this breakout right here. Also my failure to get in on the long put side right there too to cover, but I guess that didn't really matter at the end of the day. Anyways, all right, let's go to the actual price action charts. First and foremost, hey, this is really fucking bearish, right? No, this is all jokes aside, looking pretty damn good right here. Trending above the top side trailing band, getting the closure above on yesterday's closure on CME is going to put this into trend mode for myself. And with that in mind, let's see, we are never going down anymore. Bitcoin to 80K, says Wrecked Boy. That's really a healthy way of looking at things. Now I've become a little bit more on edge when I see shit like that. Yeah, man, Ray T, we'll get to that after Bitcoin, please. Yeah, well, when you're done with Bitcoin. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. All right, so a little bit of awareness there, going a long ways. Appreciate that, man. Really sincerely, just because I do know that it can be a little bit annoying. Anyways, looking at this right here, I'm going to be essentially bullish, looking for new all-time highs in price discovery mode as long as Bitcoin is closing daily doldrums above the topside trailing band. This is available both on CME and on spot price action. Obviously, you can see the topside trailing band acting as a bit of a basing point for an easy trade on there as well. Anyways, bringing this up right here, we do see momentum also just following through here too. Again, this is going to look a little bit like hindsight analysis, but just reference the last week of videos, because this has all been leading up to this point. And I want to follow up for the people who have been here for a while, actually tuning in and giving, a fuck about this content, I suppose, during especially the boring and slow times. But looking at this right here, yep, more or less good. I actually would favor that in the critical zone as we are in trend mode. Also, we do see DMI Plus getting very much erect right there alongside ADX. Again, following up on the signal that we saw born upon about a week ago, actually, almost a week ago to the day on the 8th of April, as you can see. So I do look at that as rather good. Obviously, MACD having a bullish cross alongside a break of structure, a resolution of what would be considered an ascending triangle right here, all going to be good stuff. And of course, we can make a measured move off this one. And what do you know? That's pointed up right towards a 3.618 Fibonacci extension, which is good confluence, as you might think, at about 70,000 bucks. And what do you know? We did have a little bit of a stutter step right around the 63,500-ish region yesterday on the short-term timeframes. But again, only really relevant for the short-term timeframes. You can identify it right here. And that is kind of what we were saying. Hey, this is like a short-term pullback, as you can see, but I wouldn't look at it as anything more than that. Realistically, the greater upside targets do remain. And when you're looking at a daily, you don't really judge things on a fucking 4-hour, right? And so yeah, fair enough. Looking good on there. And if things do start to really extend past 70,000 bucks, we can obviously come up with deeper targets. But at the end of the day, I do want to take things one leg at a time, because I do feel like this market is getting a little bit crazier, and I do feel like we are probably this next run right here, I do think is probably going to be it before like a greater pullback and consolidation lower. Remember, we do have a big event today. The Coinbase IPO, direct listing, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is going to get some play, and I think they're going to like open it up at 125 or so. So this thing might do a 2x like right off the fucking bat, which is going to be insane. But we'll come back to that later. Or actually, I won't be live later today, so that's actually unfortunate. Damn. Maybe I should have done the live later today, so we could have watched that one together. Would have been pretty damn good. Hey, what's up, the trading? Oh, there he is, Mr. Z Felds himself. What's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Seeing you run the bingo board on stream brings me back. Much love, sir. Much love to you indeed, sir. How you doing, brother? Yeah, everyone, check out the Trading Network's channel. Great guy, Z Felds. We had a beautiful interview last week, so you can hear him talk on this channel. You can also go check out his own channel as well, where he covers traditional markets here too, which is fucking awesome, man. Anyways, back into it right and over here. Let's go through our regular charts and let's see what we got going on. Yep. I mean, again, just following up on these signals that we identified on the daily TSI precipitated big time on the MACD, having that bullish cross in the bullish buy zone alongside several strikes of divergence on the daily here too. You see the daily, you see the 2-day, you see the 3-day, and then the weekly we all identified over this past week as leading up. And this was very, 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 very likely to be the week of resolution. Again, I just want to follow up for people who have been here for a while now. And as far as the weekly goes, man, I've look, there's nothing fucking bearish about this chart right here, and there hasn't been for a while, really. I mean, ever since really like 8,000, 9,000 over here, to be fair. But in this case right here, I do think that Bitcoin is getting ready for another big liftoff. To be quite honest with you, what I want to see to kind of denote when this rally is going to be over is I want to see HVP on the daily specifically get back into the red zone. I will be unwilling to call any sort of a major, especially macro top, without at the very least seeing the HVP get above 90 percentile. And realistically, you want to see it get to like 99 or 100 for those critical moments, but anywhere above 90 is where things do start to get a bit more frothy. So as you can see right here, it's going to take some time to expand. We're just seeing another spike back up, around what would be a regression from our late January, early February highs. But assuming that this rally does continue, I imagine that we do really see it start to lift off from there. Again, I really can't highlight this enough. It does sound a little bit simple, but as you can see, it did take quite a fair bit of patience here. The daily RSI really does tell the story about the trend right now. We do see daily, 2-day, 3-day, and weekly all basically getting into the bullish control zone. Not necessarily the weekly. The weekly's been in there for a while, but all the other ones having hidden bullish evidence right around the edge of the bullish control zone. That is a big classic signal right there. We've seen this so many fucking times, and of course this works to the downside as well. But when you see a consolidation around the edge of a control zone, alongside several other things that were also pointing to the upside, it's very, 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 very likely to go within that direction. In this case right here, when Bitcoin's already at the prior all-time high, I mean, that was just a fucking perfect setup. We also identified in the underlying market dynamics that realized and of course implied volatility were extremely low, and realistically that is a classic signal amongst other things as well, pointing that the trend is going to continue in the same direction. Very rarely, in fact, I really can't even recall a situation where I've seen a multi-long consolidation, especially in Bitcoin land, but even in traditional land as well, that did lead into a reversal. And when I say this, I mean like where you essentially oscillate around your highs or your lows within a few percent. And as you can see right here, the second that Bitcoin really started popping back up towards $60,000 and testing that region again, that was an obvious tell, amongst other things, mostly because you just don't get fucking 2 chances to sell the top, just like you don't get 2 chances to buy the bottom. I know someone out there is going to say, but Krown, double tops and double bottoms. Yeah, back test that shit. Tell me how often they actually work out for like a long-term trade. They very, very rarely do. I can only think of one instance where it actually did work out as a double bottom. It's actually in SPY, funnily enough. But for the most part, extremely low hit rate. Of course, does it work for scalps? Yeah, actually very, very high hit rate for a scalp. But at the end of the day, this one is just having continuation drives here, and I imagine the market's going to get crazy once again. The O faces are going to make a massive resurgence as interest comes back into this market, and I imagine that the Coinbase IPO is going to be a big catalyst for that. So again, that's going to be coming a little bit later today, and I actually don't think it's going to be a sell the event type thing. I think that we might get a few pullbacks along the way, obviously, but the way that they're pricing it does make it seem like it's going to be supportive of price action. And realistically, I imagine a lot of old school traders are going to be treating it in the same way that they treat like a gold miner, for example. They want to diversify out to the people who are like selling the shovels, to make an analogy there. In the case of cryptocurrency, that would be essentially playing the exchanges. And what do you know? Like all of the fucking exchange coins, for example, they've been going absolute moon mode. You got BNB, you got FTX coin, you got KuCoin coin, if that's a thing. All these things very indicative that the exchanges are getting a lot of love right now and playing off that. So fair enough on that. In fact, if anything, I would think that they would be the ones that get a little bit hit after this event. But overall, long term, is it a good thing? Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, more and more infrastructure is being built around the crypto space. Bitcoin's about to get E-mini future, or not E-mini futures, but mini futures for the CME contracts, which is going to make it widely more accessible. I mean, to me, this all spells that the traditional world is really getting their feet wet into this venue now, and we're probably going to see even a transfer from all of these, old shitmex type exchanges over here, or I guess all these over here, especially like the Wild Wild West peer-to-peer exchanges. They're probably going to get washed out if they don't want to play ball with the traditional land, and we're just going to all kind of become traditional retail traders. I don't think that I think that the crypto degen movement has its days numbered, to be honest with you. And I figure before an ETF comes out, which I think could even be at the end of this year, I think extremely likely next year, but I even think this year is rather likely. I imagine you're going to see a lot of those exchanges washed out. I mean, you already see with BitMEX and a few other exchanges, I think, are being looked at, if you will. I think Binance was the last one to catch the regulators' eye, but don't quote me on that one. And now I'm getting way off fucking track right now. What's up, new bro? How you doing, man? Krown bro, I miss you at this hour, bro. New bro, I miss you too, bro. I'm like a small child whose father works at night and I'm at school in the day. No, don't say that, sir. Come back to us, bro. Who else is gonna look at my S coins? My S coins? My S coins? What the fuck do you mean by that? Plus, the theme music is better at night. This is true, actually. But for me, it's the morning, my friend. Hey, what's up, Justin Myers? Hey, brother. Been following you for quite some time. Dude, it hit me the other day. You're rich. Nobody would provide so much free content inside if they weren't actually really nice of you. Well, the thing is, man, is like that makes it sound like I'm just a really nice fucking philanthropist. Philanthropist? Yeah, there we go. Look, man, that definitely appeals to my ego. Like, obviously, you want to be nice if you can be nice. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, there's a lot in for me as well, right? Like, I have to, whenever I make these videos, whenever I do these videos and people like ask a question, for example, and I have to explain an answer, I come to a deeper understanding. My trading game has actually increased, I would say, a significant amount when you really think about it over time, especially from doing these streams and kind of having to detail, exactly what I'm speaking about. It causes me to have a deeper understanding of things. So there's a lot in it for me as well. The community obviously is beautiful as well. Absolutely love that. And then obviously, I have my programs too, which obviously gives more money. And so those things are like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having more money, obviously, but I feel like a lot of people are just not cool with talking about that. And fair enough. I mean, usually those people are gonna have a lot of money if they don't want to talk about fucking money. It's no surprise that if you think like the rich are evil, and then you're not, like, obviously you don't want to fucking be evil. So what are you gonna not be? Rich, right? It's like, no, man. Money just gives you the access to a bit of freedom, if you will. So yeah, man, I choose to spend my time doing this, and yeah, it brings a lot back to me, and hopefully gives people value out there too. But I don't want to sound like I'm some sort of just like philanthropist, because it's just not true. What I actually truly believe, I'm gonna get way off fucking topic here, but I think that this is actually important. What I actually truly believe is this: I believe that the healthiest way to operate is some sort of dynamic that I've just coined. I don't know if this is even a real thing, but I've just kind of coined it. I refer to it as selfish altruism. Selfish altruism. It's like what's good for you and also good for other people is like 1 + 1 = fucking 11, right? It's really, really fucking great shit, because I do this, and like I said, like I've been saying, I get a lot from this, and then hopefully it helps some people out there too, and then that, who knows where that fucking ripples off to. That's fucking awesome. So to me, that's why, or that, that's also a big motivating factor. And yeah, man, and then also just building a nice community like this. I mean, it's added a lot of value to my life, to be honest with you. Anyways, I'm getting way the fuck off track right now. What's up, Kelly Kellum? Krown, my guy, can you hit my super chat? I posted before a stream before. Hey man, Kelly, if actually you could just repost the, Kelly, if you could repost your comment here, it would be a lot easier to find. But I actually can't pull up those earlier comments. They do disappear, so I do apologize. But I would implore you that, hey, actually don't send super chats before the stream begins, because I'll actually have a very difficult time pulling up if you so are inclined to do that. Stop being so damn humble. Embrace our love, man. It's not. It's not being humble. It's being real. All-time high. Make a good day. Yeah, man. Well, everyone's got to have a smile on their face right now. Everyone's rich as fuck. You know, this is ridiculous. Like, this is such a guilty pleasure just watching Bitcoin go more and more and more over the last 7 months now. I mean, realistically, we start like I believe that we switched up big time on this channel at about July 2020 over here when Bitcoin was somewhere around like $8,000 or $9,000 because we saw a big golden cross on the daily right here. Actually, that was even before that. That was like middle of May, and then we got macro bullish somewhere over here. So I imagine a lot of people on this channel, if they were kind of subscribing to that same sort of belief, this has just been, all you have to do is fucking hold in this case, the 561% rally from that last base in September. I mean, that's just insane. That's fucking insane, man. Very few other places you can actually find that. Now, obviously in the altcoin sector, you can definitely find a lot of that because those things go moon mode. It seems like absolutely like a goddamn astronaut in an environment like this, you know, especially after like years of getting pounded down into the ground, 99% down moves. But for now, you know, it's glorious times. So anyways, looking at the lower term timeframes, even the lower term timeframes suggesting a lot more up here as we do see 4-hour RSI playing out that hidden bullish divergence that we identified yesterday. Not even showing any threat of regular bearish divergence on the other side. And we're talking about lower term timeframes right now. Obviously, this hasn't even confirmed a local high just yet. We see the three hour doing the same thing, by hourly doing the same thing, and hourly doing the same thing as well. And even the lower term timeframes like the 4-hour, now they are expanding on the on our HVP over here, but nowhere near critical, nowhere fucking near. So unfortunately, or sorry, not unfortunately, but fortunately for the boo laws here, I don't really have any real reason to believe that this ends anytime soon. Now, of course, there should be some areas of course, of change of bias. And it's pretty simple in this case. You know, if we are taking if we're just looking at straight up structure right here, you know, the classic way is what? Well, you use your last breakout point as a bit of a swing failure pattern point in this case, because we do obviously have a pattern, we do obviously have a swing, and in this case that would be about $62,000 right here. I would argue that that is actually unnecessary. I do think using the yesterday's low would be an obvious point as well. It's a couple $1,000 lower to be fair, but that would be what I personally would use in this case. Again, managing these positions over here, which again, I don't really need to do all that much with unless a Bitcoin starts to go back down below $59,000. But that's why I'd use that area, because that is, well, quite literally right below 60,000 here, technically speaking, 59,825 on yesterday's low. So a very, very easy management point, you know, if I am managing those option positions in this case. And I don't really have any real reason to be looking for like a big reversal or looking at this as like a fake rally, if you will, until Bitcoin does take out this area right here. And if that does happen, you know, don't get me wrong, I will start to get it at the very least medium term bearish. I'd look for a move somewhere down around the 2.414, also likely to be in line with the 55, as you can kind of see it come up on this region. And you can see that this is also going to be in line with the last few lows on this trend line right here too. Again, that's only if that happens. Realistically speaking, I do think that Bitcoin has more upside here. I think that Bitcoin's likely to, you know, head on to probably $69,000. It's a big meme, and fair enough. Anyways, okay, sorry, I'll get back to some more of these over here. I know that Kelly Killam just sent another one. You didn't need to do that, brother. I was just going to actually look at whatever you said, but I appreciate that, man. Let's see. Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, Kelly Killam says, Krown, my guy, can you hit my oh wait, no, hold on. Oh, where is it? Okay, I must have missed it. All right, I'll just move on to the next one. I'll keep an eye out for Kelly there. All right, let's see. There he is. Okay, found him. All right, thoughts on likely tops and also retracements being less savage this time due to different market dynamics. Yeah, actually, I've spoken about this a lot in the past, so I do believe that. Yes. So here's the thing. Here's the underlying reasoning for that. The reason why I say that is because as the market gets more and more mature, meaning that there's more money within this market, more people involved, more big institutions, you know, getting their dicks wet within this market, what's likely to happen? Well, what is happening? More money's pouring into it, which we can obviously identify here on the Krown trading app with the global market cap, for example, and also Bitcoin market cap going up to the goddamn moon. And what is that going to essentially do? Well, it's going to mean that the order books are thicker and thicker at some point in time as the market, well, especially when the market starts to consolidate, which means that it's going to naturally take more and more to actually move this market, meaning that the market will very likely move slower. Volatility will start to trend down over a long period of time, and we see this market slowly go into forex land. Which forex land, for example, because these assets are so fucking big, or I guess it's not assets, but they're more like fiats, are so fucking big that, you know, they move in like 0.001 of a decimal place right there. I mean, I'm saying not point, not one. Like very, very slow. Now, do I think that Bitcoin will ever get to that? Probably not, no. But for example, we could look at gold. Gold has a market cap of like 9 or 10 trillion, or maybe not that much anymore because it did sell off pretty damn harshly from the $2,000 high, but it's somewhere around there. My point is that it's many multiples of Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin's at about 2 trillion for the whole market cap. I think Bitcoin itself is what, like maybe, actually, I don't know. It's probably around $1 trillion. Anyways, that's not important to what I'm saying right now. What I just want to show is that gold being like 8 or 9 trillion, whatever it's at, it moves in a lot more muted ways. It still does move, obviously, but, over time, those moves become less and less crazy, less and less aggressive. It still very likely will move, but again, as the asset matures more and more, we expect that to happen. Yes, absolutely. So you're also asking thoughts on tops and also retracement being less savage. So then I think the other portion of that question, if I understand you properly, would be this. Basically, you're asking, as the market matures, would we expect the market cycle tops and bottoms to not be as crazy as what we've been seeing over the past history? Like in this case, and again, tell me if I'm right. In this case, you see that these first ones, I mean, they're just going like just insane. I mean, that's like a 58,000% move, although there were a few reversals in there, but that is also resolved by like what, a 93 and 3/4% down. Pretty fucking intense. Well, I'd say that that's very likely to happen as well. The ranges will very likely tighten. We have to remember that this asset is still pretty young within its actual life. While I don't necessarily think that market cap is like the best way to be documenting these things, it does enough for what we're looking at right now. And at the end of the day, I mean, we're already kind of seeing that, right? The market cap of this asset is pretty fucking small still compared to what this thing should be compared to, which is like a gold, for example, or at least that's what I would argue. And I would personally speak, and of course I'm biased here, I'm speaking my own book. I do think that Bitcoin's a better option than gold, especially in a digital age. I think you'd have to be fucking blind not to see the trend that things are trending towards more digitalized things. For anyone who's born like past, especially 2000, they've not even known what life is like without the internet. So what are they going to trust more? A fucking old rock that their grandpa loved, or they're going to or that boomers love, which they have a clear disdain for, or are they going to favor, a new digitalized thing that they can look at in a fucking app? Probably that, if I had to guess. And maybe something overtakes it in the future. Very possible, yes. But at least for right now, if we were to compare those in that way, we could say that, Bitcoin is incredibly young compared to something that is, more mature, which gold has been around since the dawn of time. So we could say that that's a very mature market and a good basing point to kind of be, relating to Bitcoin's general success, right? If it gets around gold, then I would say, well, that's going to be pretty damn indicative that the world is going to choose Bitcoin probably over gold over time. And I just generally think that anyways. But yeah, anyways, I'm getting off the point. I'm getting way off point right now. My point is that, we already do see that this first major pullback right here was like 92.5%, right? You could argue that this one over here is not like a full market cycle. I'd say that this is like a full market cycle right here. This one's down about 86 3/4. This one over here, I believe, is like 81 or so. Yeah, about 84. So technically speaking, if you are looking at the macro cycles there, of which we have, I'd say, an obvious 3, you could argue 4, but I would provide some counterpoints to that, especially on this one over here, just because we don't really, I mean, we do have a downtrend, but we don't really, problem is we actually don't really have a downtrend, to be fair. Well, we do have a downtrend, but it just doesn't really register within the general chart of this. Anyways, my point is that we already see that, and over time, yeah, I would expect that. Yes, the highs are going to get more muted, the lows are going to get more muted as well. Yes. Anyways, I spent a lot of time on that one. Let's move on to Mr. New 510. Krown bro, at your leisure. My S coin for the day is TKY USDT. TKY. What is this? The key, okay, on HitBTC, and you're looking at daily, weekly. Okay, weekly's garbage. I really dislike charts like this because I just think that, if you're going to play the altcoin market, there's been more obvious charts that are going to be better over time. This one looks like it is putting a bit of a local high to me right now. I imagine we have several strikes of bearish divergence here. We do. So I would be looking for this one to, at the very least, trade sideways for a bit. Problem is, though, is that Bitcoin dominance has been steadily going down. So this actually would be the time to be bullish on altcoins. But I'm just going to be always hesitant to be looking at something like this as bullish. Now, where would I get bullish on something like this? It'd be like 0.088 region right here, this local high all the way back in November 2018. But the problem is that, you know, most altcoins are having themselves a pretty nice reversal, you know, testing their problem highs and very likely beyond. I mean, Ripple's doing it as well. You know, Ripple, I think, hit or scraped up towards like $2 right here. Yeah, almost there. So, you know, for these ones that don't have as much history, do I generally think that they're going to pull through? It's the trend here, yes. But I really would be hesitant until it actually does take out those macro levels. In my opinion, that one's probably more likely to go sideways and down and cough up the rally, if anything's going to do that. And if Bitcoin shows any weakness, I imagine that very likely will happen, in fact. So nice. Anyways, let's see. Okay, what else we got over here? Well, hey, what's up, Double R? How you doing, man? Krown, eating so much humble pie today. Much love. Have you talked about XRP or doggy? Boner later. We can talk about XRP right now, man. XRP is very much relevant, and we got, I think, XRP Africa in the chats right now too. So we'll do this one for him. I think we said the other day $2 was very, very likely, and probably even more than that over time. I don't really see any real reason why it won't retest the Proud Time weekly high at like 275. You know, the pullbacks and the swings in this one are going to be fucking nasty as they typically are in altcoins, but I don't really see any real reason why this one won't be following the general market. And the general market is, for the altcoins right now, is retesting per all-time highs and making new all-time highs for the stronger ones. This one's certainly not one of the stronger ones, but it does get to follow in the general market cycle. The thing that really interests me about this market psychology here is that people will call out Ripple as like, Ripple is the one right now, where Bitcoin's, you know, had a pretty fucking phenomenal rally thus far. It's had like mega, you know, parabolic breakouts 3 or 4 times within the last 4 to 5 months. And Ripple gets one of them, and everyone's, you know, on Ripple's nuts right now, which is fair enough. I mean, it's pretty impressive rally, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. You know, I don't want to understate this rally. This is an impressive rally, and it's very likely to rally more. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see this one make new all-time highs alongside everything else. But it is funny to me that for whatever reason, the market kind of interprets this in general, not everyone, obviously. I would imagine most people here probably aren't of that same opinion. Jesus Christ, that's loud. You know, generally is just chasing green dildos, right? But fair enough. You know, as far as this goes, I have no real reason to be bearish on this one. Yes, it will create some divergence at some point, but for now, direction is still up. I do think that you are going to be coming to a local high relatively soon, just based off the last major daily breakdown point. This is coming in all the way back from 2018 January right here. So a little bit above $2, somewhere around like 215 to 220. I do think that this one does play a kind of a nastier pullback, but after that, I do think that the pullback very likely does march upwards and onwards. I have no real reason to believe that this one's going to be bearish while everything else kind of just continues here. You know, the market more or less moves together. I always want to err on the side of the market in this case. All right, sweet. Dan Henderson says, Krown, love all you give. Hey man, my pleasure, brother. Can you please take a look at VET BTC on the hourly and 4 hour? Yep, I got you. VET BTC. Let's check it out right on over here. We'll go to Binance for this one. You said 4 hour and hourly. I'm seeing a 1.618 fib target of 268 sats, but need your third eye. Okay, my third eye. Well, the problem is that if you're on a low term time frame like that, you're going to miss sight of the greater trajectory. Now, okay, so you're looking at 268. I mean, what's interesting about 268 to me is that actually is like your last major breakdown area from 2018, of course, September that is. So I would be looking for a little bit of drama around that region, meaning I'd be looking for a spike up there, then probably plays out some sideways and downside. But again, you know, same thing as Ripple. Do I think that this thing is going to reverse from that region after basically confirming a new trend on the weekly as of last week? Yeah, we actually do have new highs. No, I don't think so. I think that this one continues upwards and onwards. But you're focused on a 4 hour and an hourly here. 4 hours continuation. RSI tells a story in this one. TSI just crossing the north side right here on expanding volatility. Yep, I'm going to favor the upside in this case. Hourly, I don't really get too much off this, man. I would strongly suggest. I mean, look, man, you're free to do whatever you want. I would not look at it a fucking hourly for a shitcoin, to be honest with you. Generally speaking, though, I do think upwards. I do think that it will put in medium-term top somewhere around like 265-ish region, play it some sideways and down, and then maybe over the next couple of months, probably try another rally. Anyways, let's see. What else we got, baby? What else do we got? I see Mr. Pedro. Mr. fucking Pedro. Love Mr. Pedro, our lovely moderator, keeping everyone safe and sofu right now. Let's see. Is it Dr. Bitcoin? No. Ray. Oh, my God, man. Okay, whoa. I'm way far behind right now. Oh, my God. Okay, here we go. Found it. Ray T says, Krown, please check my initial super chat, link USDT. Again, man, I can't pull up super chats that were from like way long ago. I do apologize about that, but it's out of my power. If you really want to see some, get analyzed or whatever, I would suggest sending it after, especially the Bitcoin segment, as we typically do. That would be greatly appreciated. But thank you for reminding me here. And you did not provide a time frame, so fair enough. Again, I'm just gonna be bullish on this one, man. There's no real reason to be bearish on this one. Weekly TSI having a fresh cross the upside on new all-time highs. Look, there's nothing fucking bearish about that. Like, we can make an extension on this to kind of plot some areas of interest to the upside here. But I'm just gonna be generally bullish on this one. Oh, I guess I already have it. Short term would be about 39 to 40 bucks, but that's only relevant for short term. Realistically, I'd be looking for 50 bucks on this one. I would actually be looking for 55 bucks, or sorry, not 55, but 50 bucks. 45 would also be another area of interest along the upside as well. But long term, which you did not identify, so I'm just going to assume that you're probably looking at this long term because most people are. I'd be looking at, I'd have like big interest along those levels, but for now, looking really good. Anyways, okay, Dr. Bitcoin says, Krown, in one of your prior long-term analysis videos, you showed trend lines for market cycle tops. Can you show those again? I can, but I wouldn't put too much weight on it, to be honest with you. We can do it over here, and let me just, yep, there we go. This one's actually currently coming in at current price action at about 82,800, but that obviously extends significantly, even just going out like another month. If we go all the way to like July, for example, that goes all the way to like 111,000 bucks. So not going to be that helpful for right now until we actually test it. And to be fair, no one's even called it the pi cycle today, which is rather interesting. But the pi cycle, if you actually do want to look at this from a long-term perspective, it actually kind of is acting as it has done in the past, meaning that anytime that you actually have gotten the signal itself, typically you pump into the signal. I mean, that's how you get the cross to begin with, obviously. So I do still look at that as I shouldn't even talk about it. No, it's already big enough. It's already as big enough as a meme as you should be comfortable with. Fair enough. What's up, Jeremy Shulman? Hey, Krown, can I get your analysis on KSM USDT daily Binance? Okay. Nice. Provided a time frame. That is excellent. Okay, let's see what we got going on over here. Looking like it wants to pop the corner. I do see hidden bullish divergence. It's going to give me a bit of a bullish bias here. I'd be looking for short-term targets back up to, well, I wouldn't say short-term, medium-term targets back up to 500 bucks, and then probably does retest the prior all-time high at 550 and probably makes new all-time highs after that, man. Again, the market analysis trumps singular altcoin analysis here. I do like the hidden bullish divergence that is building right now. This hidden bullish divergence will be confirmed with any sort of a closure above the 10 simple on this time frame, 443 right now, 443 that is. And again, I'd just generally be favoring some upside after that over the next few days. Hey, what's up? Chill, mega chill. Love you, Krown. Love you too, sir. I say that all the time, actually, because I call my girlfriend sir. Like when I say goodnight, I say goodnight, sir. I love you, sir. Cope USD. Is this a real thing? They named their coin Cope. Okay. A meme within a meme, huh? Cope USD right here. Cope USD. Can we bring it up? That's the real question right now. It looks like no. Why is TradingView having so much of an issue with this? Let's try this one over here. Maybe you never know with TradingView, man. All right, there we go. Cope USD on FTX. Not a whole hell of a lot of history here, so I do want to call out that first and foremost. And you're looking at an hourly. Does this look like a topped out monster? This looks like something that I wouldn't want to be playing, to be honest with you. Does it look like it's topped out? No, it doesn't. It looks like it has a little bit of short-term downside though. Do I trust an hourly though? No, fuck no, man. Again, this thing doesn't have barely any history. I really would not. I just don't feel comfortable analyzing something like this, man. A healthy amount of I don't know is the proper answer for this one. It does look like it probably reaccumulates on the on the 4 hour right here, but again, man, we don't even have like a month of history. This thing's been around for 2 weeks. Like, that's just not good enough. I just don't trust anything for something like this. I don't care what your secret sauce is. I don't trust anything for something like this. If I had to call it, I would call probably a move back down to like 460, but that is against the general market, which is not wise in my experience. Again, I'd say I would not even take anything that I say about this seriously to begin with, because this is just, we don't have enough history. Like just straightforward. Hambone Crypto says, morning Krown. Morning, Mr. Hambone. Can you check out BPRO BTC on KuCoin short term? What does short term mean to you, sir? I'm gonna guess like a 4 hour. But unfortunately, if it's anything like the last one, then a 4 hour means nothing. In this case right here, it looks like it's, well, let's actually look at my other charts over here. What was B Pro. B Pro. Ah, fucker. Oh, you cunt. All right, said cunt, or said cut, not the other C word, sir. YouTube algo, don't kill me. Okay, he said short term, let's do 4 hour. In this case, I do think that it's going to likely swipe the lows again, probably back down around what is this, a 1.5 cent. I do think that it will give you another shot at a 1.5 cent, but that level needs to hold if this thing is going to continue its long-term rally, which this one actually does have a good amount of history here. Yeah, this actually does have a decent amount of history, at least comparison to the last few pieces of bullshit that we looked at. I'd be looking for short-term down, probably another bounce off of 1.5 cent though, and then see it from there, which it does seem, yeah, you are focused on short-term, as you said. All right, Moose Boss says, hey, Krown, what's up, Moose? Can you check out GRT USD on Binance at the 4 hour? Okay, GRT USD. Okay, Binance 4 hour. Are we putting in a short-term base at the 185, 190 levels before blasting off? Yeah, I mean, just looking at the daily right here, we can see an obvious reaccumulation phase. Now, what numbers do you call it specifically? 185? Yep, I do think so. If you're looking at the short term, I'd say that that's relevant for there. But you are starting to lose a little bit of sight of the higher term timeframes. I think it's just easier to see on a daily, but teach their own. Do I think that it has another swipe at like 185, as you said? Yeah, probably yes. But do I think that that would be an opportunity as well? Yeah, I mean, this is shaping up to be reaccumulation right here. Daily TSI in a bullish posturing, daily RSI more or less neutral in the context of an uptrend. Yeah, I'm gonna favor it for long-term continuation right there. Floating boats lifts all rivers. That's right. That's the right correlation between the two. There you go, brother. There you go. Let's see. Miral Gandhi says, hey, Krown, can you take a look at Matic USD pair? Sure, man. If you'd like to provide a time frame, though, that'd be fucking great. All right, we got Matic USD right here. I'm just going to go with a daily in this case, and daily is looking good. Short term, do I see a little bit of downside? Yeah, I think 38.80 would certainly not be out of the question, but I do think that that would be an opportunity at the same time. Daily TSI telling the story here, though, and daily RSI doing the same thing too. Both momentum oscillators pointed up further north side. Yeah, I do think that this one ultimately will pop back up, test its prior all-time high at 55 cent, and probably make new all-time highs. Short term, though, maybe a little bit of downside, however. Well, did we already play that out? Could argue that we've already played that out. I think anywhere down around like 40 cents is not out of the question, but long term is more or less up. Again, market analysis is going to be trumping everything right now. Okay, did I miss anything else? Okay, yeah, whoa, I missed a lot of things over here. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, Mr. Z-Rex, good to see you, brother. Holy shit. Good to see you, my friend. Oh my God, man. It is, it's a pleasure to see the OGs back in there. Chess Champion 94 says NKN USD. Man, this is, okay, we are going deep within the shitcoin drawer right now. All right, NKN USD daily Binance chart. Okay. All right, that's very clear. Oh, this one actually has some history here, so can't be that bad. Yeah, it's not a bad chart at all. In fact, short term, I'd be looking for some downside. I'd be looking for a bounce off of like 64 cent. You also have about a 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hours got some downside here, but I do think that it bounces off of about 60. What was it? 64? No, sorry, like 62 cent. 62 cent region. I'd be looking for a bouncy bounce. Don't say the pi word. The old pi word. Oh, motherfucker. Gabriel says, hey, Krown, what's up, Gabriel? I get your analysis on Litecoin USD parent on the weekly. Actually, funnily enough, man, I was looking at that yesterday, and I was like, wow, this is pretty fucking good here. Yeah, man, this one's extremely likely to pop back up towards a prior all-time high 375 region. It's very likely to make new all-time highs as well. This one's actually pretty damn cut and dry on this one. You do have an obvious reaccumulate, or yeah, I guess this would count as reaccumulation between May 2018 and more recently December 2020, January 2021, and we can plot a fib off of that, which is going to give us a few areas of interest. Obviously, the prior all-time high is going to probably provide a little bit of pushback, but long term, do I think that it pops up to like 600 plus? Yeah, I do actually. I mean, most of the market is doing that, so I don't really have any real reason to not think that this one will as well. Weekly RSI tells a story here. 3 drives of hidden bullish evidence back into the bullish control zone alongside weekly TSI about to turn up as well. I'd be looking for another reapproach to the prior all-time high, man. It's looking good. It's looking pretty damn good. Oh, Jesus, this is way too off right there. Okay, there we go. All right, sweet one. Jesus Christ, man. Frankie Corsetti is just spamming it up. I think it's time for a little bit of a time me outie. Sir, hey, Mr. Frankie, or anyone who's like spamming a ticker, look, it's not going to get me to look at it, man. And it just fucking pisses everyone else off in this community. And what's most important is like, realizing that there's other people here, like as normal people, like well-adjusted people do. But fair enough, man. Hopefully you can take that in stride, and we just want to have everyone, have a nice experience. Frank Saint says, hey bro, what's up, Frank? Thank you for existing. Thanks, man. I don't hear that too often in the CME chart. Do you have an uncream pied unfilled gap at 18 and 19,000? Not asking do we fill it, just asking if it exists. Okay, so the question is, do we have an unfilled, or do we have a gap that is unfilled around here? Yeah, it is not filled, obviously, and this is known. This is technically known as a professional gap. You get professional gaps when you have like real breakouts that are driven by bigger players, typically institutions or quant firms, someone with like a big fucking bankroll. They can run this up, in this case over the weekend, usually happens over the weekend, and you're very unlikely to come back down and retest those. They do certainly happen, and it's usually a damn good indication when the market's getting ready to trend really fucking hard. You see the same thing over here in December 2020 as well. So fair enough. Yeah, yes, I would agree. Absolutely. Okay, cool. Rebdalia, what's up, man? Can you look at CRV USD on a 4-hour and daily time frame? Yep, absolutely. CRV, this one sounds familiar. Is this CRV curved out? No, okay, no, I don't know this one. I'm thinking of CVC. 4-hour and daily. Let's go with a 4-hour first, see what the low term time frames are looking like. And then we'll put that in the context of the higher term timeframes. Looks like an obvious reaccumulation, another higher low on the 4-hour. I think this will be more obvious on a daily, and it certainly is. You even have the same sort of formation going on right here too. Obvious resistance right around 360 and rising lows coming off of this trend line right here, right around the 55 as it rides it up. Actually very similar to Bitcoin on this last move too, in this last consolidation between 50 and 60,000 bucks. I'd be looking for short-term up, 365. Does it actually break that area or not on this next drive? I don't have an opinion on that. My opinion is on if it breaks that. I'd be targeting the 2-spot extension here. Apparently, I did this chart a while ago, which is actually your September 2020 highs, which is really good confluence there. And yes, that would be right around about 540-ish region. So I would generally be bullish here. Anthony says, RSR USDT Binance. Is RSR showing bull div on higher timeframes? It's the PayPal coin. Is it the PayPal coin? RSR, okay, USDT Binance. Okay, reserve rights. Is it the PayPal coin? I feel like PayPal does not have a coin, man. Are you sure about that? Okay, higher time frames. Is it showing is it showing bullish divergence here? No, or at least whatever hidden bullish divergence was over here has already been resolved, and that was pushed back. So it did get the move from this low from 7.6 cents all the way up to this high about 9 cents, but then we had bearish divergence on the other side and forced it back down. Looking at the weekly right here, do we have any bullish divergence? No, we do not. No, I'd say no. Now, I think what your question really is asking, though, is do I think that this one's going to go higher? Yeah, probably yes. Everything in this market basically gets a free ride right now. It doesn't even matter what the fucking name is. Even if it's the biggest, like, bogus coin of all time, probably going to get a free ride to the upside. And in this one's very unlikely to be any different. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing back up to like 9.5 cents and probably beyond long term. Nico Senpai says, can you check out Chain USD? Chain Daily? Okay. Chain, huh? Okay. Do you mean Chain Link? Do you mean Chain Link? Because I'm not getting anything right here for symbol Chain, symbol CHAIN. So unfortunately, I can't look at that. But if you did mean Chain Link, we already looked at it earlier, and I think targets were like $40, 45, and 50. All of the easy numbers right there. Pavel Jurek says, could you please look at Graph GRT USD? I feel like we already looked at this one daily. Sure. Go to Binance for this bullshit, and yeah, I'd be looking for this hidden bull div over here to play out. Daily TSI turning up as well. Again, not a whole hell of a lot of history here. Or this is actually the 2-day, but $2.5 is where I'd be looking towards. Probably ends up making the ultimates after that as well. I mean, again, the market analysis is going to trump everything here. Okay, cool. All right. Hey, welcome to the cave, Mr. Brad Snad. Let's. I missed. Okay, here we go. I think I found where I left off. Smithy TV says Bcash one week Coinbase, please. Sure. BCH USD. Let's see what this one's doing. Okay, Coinbase, you said, and weekly specifically. Yeah, turning the corner here. This one's in full rally mode right now. If you're looking at the weekly, I'd be looking for this one to pop back up towards 1500 plus, anywhere between 1500 and 1700. I'd be looking at for the next sort of medium term high. Looking good right there, actually. Again, market analysis going to trump everything else. Have to be generally going to be bullish on this market here. Okay, Serperator says, much thanks, Krown. Hey, man, all good. Your analysis kept me long Bitcoin. Well, hopefully I'm glad that worked out for you, sir. Please look at ENJ USD. Okay, daily, weekly. All right, ENJ USD here. We'll go to Binance for this one. And weekly is looking like more upside. I really like last week's closure, actually. Daily is not as obvious here, to be fair. Daily's actually looking for a little bit of short-term downside at the very least, probably 270, but I do like the weekly long-term. I'm never going to be bearish on something like this. I'd probably be looking at that 270 tick to be pushed back on. Probably does try another rally to the upside. I imagine this is going to build some more hidden bullish evidence over here, but short-term actually would be looking at a little bit of downside there. And then play the weekly trend on this one. This one's being definitely one of the better actors for sure. Making massive new weekly all-time highs before many other altcoins. So I would put this one in the category of strong shitcoins there. Brad Snad says, hey, Krown, thanks for all you do, sir. Amen, my pleasure. I'm enjoying the app. Fuck yeah, man. Glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that. And by the way, actually some big new updates coming in, I think later this month. Yeah, I believe later this month. We're going to have mobile functionality. We're going to have some CME data. We're going to have all sorts of cool things that we'll be able to offer for free. Hambone, B Pro BTC again. Okay, you want it versus Bitcoin? All right, okay. Well, I guess we can do that. I can't imagine it's gonna be a whole hell of a lot of different. Well, actually, no, it is a whole hell of a lot of different here, to be fair. I hesitate on this one, to be honest with you. I really do hesitate on this one. I would be looking for a bounce anywhere off of like 2350. You're looking at a 4 hour. Yeah, I'd be looking for short-term down, bounce off of 2450-ish region. Come back after that. Technically speaking, though, you do have a death cross on the 4 hour. I don't typically see these ones in this context work out, to be fair, though. I do think that this one has some short-term downside, probably tries another bounce. So again, it's going to be very difficult for me to be bearish in the general market sphere. Luke T says, B cash BTC weekly, please, brother. Sure, man. All right, we just looked at USD. We can look at BTC, or yeah, BTC in this case. So we'll do B cash BTC. And what are we looking at right here? Yeah, looking good, man. Turning the corner as well. I'd be looking for this one to extend the rally a little bit more. If you're looking at a weekly, which sounds like you are, 0.138 regions where I'd be looking towards. That's your last major breakdown before this one. But overall, very good base right here. You know, if this one had some short-term down to 0.012, or what is this, like 0.123 region, I look at that as an opportunity. But ultimately, it sounds like you're looking at higher term time frames, which is a weekly in this case. Yeah, hidden bullish evidence, weekly TSI turning up. I'm going to be bullish here and probably does stab a little bit higher here. So fair enough. Nice one. Cool. And my throat's starting to go a little bit more. Okay. Jesus Christ. All right. I'll try to sound for a little bit more here. Okay. Got that one. Major Metacarpal says, ENJ 12 hour and daily. No base pairing. So I don't know what the you are trying to look at, but I'm just going to default to USD in this case. You say 12 hour and daily. We already looked at this one. Bullish accumulation, reaccumulation. Yeah, well, you wouldn't really say so on this right here, to be fair. I do think that this one has some short-term downside, as I said earlier, somewhere down around like 269, 270-ish region, and then probably tries another bounce from there. I do generally favor some more upside continuation. Weekly is still looking pretty damn good to me. So fair enough on that one. No More Paper says Atom USD Binance daily weekly. Got it. All right, sweet. Got base pairing. You got oh wait, yeah, you got time frame. Okay, sweet. All right, we're good. Don't even really need an exchange because you typically figure that one out, but sometimes people want to look at like weird exchanges, so fair enough. This one right here, breaking out on the weekly, it looks like it did hit our 26 and 35-cent target right here. Pretty damn good. You're looking at a daily and weekly. I'd be looking for this one to continue, however, after a short-term pullback, which I think we're seeing literally right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one officially retest the prior all-time high at 27.25. Daily TSI looking bullish here. Daily RSI playing out that hidden bullish divergence back in the bullish control zone. I think this one's getting ready to like trend once again. Areas of interest to see upside are going to be, well, let's just plot it out right now and do it really, really simply. I will do something like this. Areas of interest to see upside going to be like 31.5 medium term, and then long term is going to be like $40. One. Doing some quick ones right there. Wayne May says, hey, Krown, can you look at targets for .USD? We don't do targets here, sir. No fucking scammy bullshit targets. You make your own targets, man. I'll give you my opinion on it, but you make your own fucking targets. How about that? I do not feel comfortable with that. Long-term up, man. Not even long-term, but even short-term up as well. Daily TSI crossing back up to the upside. Daily RSI, no divergences here, but back into the bullish controls, and it looks like, again, I'm going to generally favor the market. This one looks like it's ready to roll once again. The reaccumulation was right here between middle of February and in middle of March. and we're just kind of seeing that move populate itself now. I'd be looking for I'd have areas of interest somewhere around 50 and then also 60. Big numbers right there. Hey, what's up, Shamel? Thank you for joining the cave, sir. Nice one. Let's see. Opa Simpson says Chili's USDT. Okay, CHZ USD. 4 hour in daily. All right, let's check it out on the daily right here. Little bit of sideways, man. I'd probably be looking for 4 hours going to show some downside right here. I'd probably be looking for another move back down to like 44.75 region and then tries to bounce from there. Long term, do I think this one generally follows the market? Yes, I'd look for the daily TSI to turn up in order to get the next sort of momentous move, but for now, sideways and down, and then probably reaccumulates within the context of the trend. Ray T says, hey man, lots of love as well, brother. Thank you for that, David. But okay, David, you always do this. David, please, for the love of God, and again, I appreciate this, but please, in order to make this both easier on yourself and myself, it'd be much better if you can remember to put your fucking message in your chat so that I can actually document, so that I can pull it up easily. Otherwise, it can kind of get lost sometimes. And I imagine that's pretty damn annoying for you. All right, we can look at NEO on the weekly and monthly, man. We can look at this absolute piece of hot garbage here, but I imagine this thing's even rallying too. You're talking about weekly, monthly. Okay, is there even a monthly to populate in this one? Probably. Weekly's up. I'd be having an area of interest right around $90, a little bit over $90. Monthly same thing basically. Both still suggesting some upside here though. So yeah, I'd be looking for extension on this rally somewhere around about $90. Probably plays out a medium term downside there. This chat is intense as raw weight. Yeah, man, it does get a little bit intense now, doesn't it? It's Tendy time, baby. No More Paper says Kava USD, Binance Daily Weekly. Okay, we can look at this one as well. CAUSD. Okay, daily weekly on Binance. A little bit of short-term downside here, actually. I'd be looking for this one to maybe swipe back down somewhere around like 575 region. Weekly still okay, but I would be looking for this one to go into like a sideways consolidation here. I don't think that this one's going to trend with the market right now. I think that it has some sideways and downside somewhere down around like 575 region. Ooh, man. Nasty. Real nasty. The Goldblee files. Hey, thanks for that, man. Oh no, Jesus Christ! Again, not the fucking message in the goddamn chat. Can you please check track USDT? Okay, I will, but I really appreciate it, man, if you put that in the original message, because again, it can get lost extremely easily. Okay, I'm patiently waiting for Zigga to send us to the promised land. Who's that? I don't know who that is, man. Looking like a little bit of a sideways consolidation right here. Obvious base right around about 70.5 cents and rising. Weekly looks like it's getting ready to join the rest of the market. I actually do like this one. Don't know what the fuck this thing is, but very likely to retest per all-time high at like 94.5 cents. I see no real reason why this one won't pop back up. Won't pop up and make a new all-time high somewhere around like $1. Actually, I think this one's pretty much ready right now. Probably rouse for the rest of the market. Looking pretty damn good. Okay, let's see. Okay, sweet. Let's go, Golby. David, I got it twice, man. All good. I am the Dominator, says D Murphy. All right, man. We have the Dominator in the chat. Everyone hide. I don't know. What do you say to that? What do you say to that, sir? Let's see. Go Lucky says, hi, bruh. No comment needed. Just feel the love. Hey, man. Thanks. I feel the love. Do you feel the love as well? Hopefully you do. It's love everywhere that you look right now. All right, let's see. We are an hour and 12 minutes into this bitch right now. I think it's time for me to wrap it up myself because I am starting to lose my voice. So with that said, I actually am not going to wrap. I'm actually not going to wrap this up. There's nothing. I mean, the analysis was on like the first 10 to 15 minutes of this bitch right here. So I think I'm going to just leave it right there, man. My voice is starting to get a little bit cracked up again. So I do take that as a signal myself to maybe go back into rest mode. But I think that we can restart the what's it called, the live streams again. I think that at least my health situation is stabilized just enough here. So all good in that case. I want to say a massive thank you for joining on in. This has been an absolute pleasure. Really good fucking times, really good conversations here. Really enjoy the full love that everyone's having right now, especially in this market when everyone's just getting a green dildo for sitting on their hands, basically. But hey, man, at the end of the day, I'm gonna quote what I heard from Up Only TV the other day. Fucking great channel, by the way. I really enjoy that channel there. Crypto Kobe and Ledger. I really like those guys. They seem to have some very great guests and just some really good banter going on. And and they were talking about how it's better to get rich with your friends than not. You know what? I agree with that, man. And you can definitely see a lot more smiles around this market, especially as Bitcoin once again moves to the upside here. Oh, dear Lord Delphine. All right. Hey, actually, no, it's just an easy message. All right, nice one. Sir Krown, may the trend be with you, and everyone here, may the trend be with you as well, my friend. And with that said, I'm signing off. Take care.